Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's that time for me to do a review on the Makarov pistol, or Makarov, as I would say here in Texas, but the proper pronunciation, I believe it's Makarov. So, 9x18 Makarov. Now we'll go ahead and clear this right away. As we can see, the magazine is empty, and I like how they make these magazines, and they're sturdy, they're tough. And then we'll go ahead and, well, with the safety off, we can clear the chamber, and with this one I can actually pull it down and take the whole slide off just like that. You can see that this gun is completely clear. So yeah, pretty amazing, right? That's how quick the takedown and reassembly is. Makarov. This gun, it replaced the T-33 and also the Nagant revolver, and it has served from 1951 until present. So I mean, this is a remarkable handgun. Now, the grips that I have here are not standard. Uh, this is a PMG. It's patent pending by FA. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. I can't really read it, but these are an aftermarket grip you can get. And let me decock it here. It has a decocker. I'll get into that in a minute. But you see that screw? The Makarov is 27 parts. That's it. Now that screw right there is pretty much the takedown screw for the grip, and then it slides off. Now this grip here is amazing because what it does is when you put a magazine in, see, normally you just have that on a normal grip, you just have that European hill release style, right? But what this does is with that little lever right there, if I push that forward, see what's happening? It's moving that release. So now, drop free. Now I can just, it's like a drop free, kind of like a standard American magazine release. And these grips, they're kind of hard to put on. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that in any way. It was, yeah, it took some time to get that on, but it's comfortable. I really like the way it holds. And I mean, this little gun here, I can go to town with this thing, and it's accurate. I mean, it's as accurate as like a Walter PPK or a PPKS or a Walter PP, my favorite of that line. I have all three, and I mean, the Makarov is kind of a worthwhile Russian equivalent of that style and design, straight blowback that is. And I mean, it is a workhorse. These pistols here, I mean, I think I remember watching Captain America when I was on a cruise. I went on an Alaskan cruise, and one of the characters in the film was using a Makarov. I mean, there's numerous movies, you guys, that have had the Makarov in it. Uh, Makarov. This is actually a Bulgarian one. This one right here. Uh, you can see the numbers there, the KO or whatever. It's a Bulgarian Makarov. You see that kind of a reddish tint on the decocker safety lever. I believe that is nickel content in the still. But let me just give this I've told you a little bit about it now. Let me just tell you, I carried one of these. This was my primary carry for probably, oh boy, let me think. It had to be at least 3 years. 2 or 3 years, I carried one of these just about every day because it was a solid steel, reliable gun. But there's one critical issue with this gun that could be potentially fatal. I mean, it's not like the gun's going to blow up on you or anything. It's just if you pulled this gun and this happened to you in a gunfight, like God forbid, but if worst came to worst and you had to rely upon this gun to save your life, and you happen to be holding the gun, let me try to show you with your grip with a thumb up. See how my thumb is up right there? I'm just trying to give an example. This little safety piece, right now it's in safe. I can't even, we've already cleared it, you guys. I can't even pull the trigger because that's safety. Now, if I push down, it's in fire. Now I could go to single action style cocking it, or I just let it down slowly, or Just gonna check that chamber one last time just to be safe, or I could double action, bang. And the thing about it is when you shoot and that slide, see when it cycles back like that, remember how I had my thumb? If I was holding the gun like that, I've had that little decocker safety hit my thumb and rotate up. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. When this piece is back, I'm going to deploy the little slide catch. It has a slide catch here. When that piece is back, now watch this. That can actually rotate up, and it can rotate up more. See, I just did it. It popped back. That's part of how that takes down. See, it rotates back, and then it actually comes out. And it's a very simple design, but the fact that that can come out, I've had that hit my thumb and then rotate up and out, and then watch this. Out came the firing pin. Simple. I love it. Solid as a rock, too. These are strong, well-made guns. But my whole point is, now there's no firing pin. So if you had your thumb up and that safety whacked it and it flies back and then you're fire, I've actually had this happen where I was shooting at a barrel in the country and I had my thumbs up like that, like with a 1911. I just have this style of shooting that way. And that little piece caught my thumb, it pushed it up, and it fell out, and the firing pin fell out. And I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, oh my God. If I had had this gun in a fight, I would be out of action just like that. So if you're ever going to carry this gun, you have to discipline yourself to, I have big hands, you can see. So that's why the thumb was up, because I don't want to do the ball and cup revolver hold. I had it on the side, and it was that left thumb right there. It was just like that. And the decocker hit that thumb. That's what did it. So I have to discipline myself not to hold it like that. So I have to down here or something. And that's hard to remember. If you have to reach for a gun and you get into a fight, for me, that was a critical error. And that's why I switched to a Sig Sauer P232, which is a straight blowback. And I've already done a video on this gun. I got some new grips. They were cheap on eBay, but I just, I love a Makarov. Don't get me wrong. But that little error. Now to put that back together, I just slide it back, let the magazine catch. There's a way that drops in, and I'm experienced in it, so let me go ahead, and the firing pin, it just kind of, just like that, you put it back in there, and yep, I don't know if you can see that, but that's back in proper alignment. Then this piece here just kind of comes in on the side, and it first comes up like that in the back, and then it rotates in, and there's a little spring. Once you fit it in place, here, let me focus on y'all. Okay, and then it rotates down, and you can actually hear, you can hear that firing pin. It's captured now on account of its position. So, I mean, now I can release my slide. I can decock it that quick. I'll do that again. I noticed y'all didn't see that. If I release my slide with the slide release, hammers back. Now if I push up on that, it decocked it. It's a good design, you guys. It's just if that thing slaps your thumb when you're firing it, it will come open and your firing pin could fall out right there in action. So I've never heard anyone talk about this, but that is the critical flaw of the Makarov pistol. If you have big hands and you're firing and your thumbs are up, because on a Makarov, check this out. If I'm hammer back, and if I go to put it on safe, I actually push it up. But say I have a round in the chamber right now, which I don't, but say I did, and say I'm carrying it in my pocket. Well, right now, when it's up, the safety's on. So that's how you'd carry it. I can't cock it. It won't. Look at how the whole frame moves. That's kind of neat. Huh. Because the whole gun locks up when you're in safe. The whole gun locks up. So for me to get this on fire, it'd just be as easy as that. I'm pushing the safety down. And then I'm gonna just check it again. I always do. Bang. And then every subsequent shot is in single action. Okay, but like I said, if you're shooting and when that safety's down, you see that little place now that it's down, it can hit your finger and jettison up. That's what I'm saying. You just got to be careful. If you know that and if you can keep your hands low, this is a viable weapon. But if you have a hand high and it hits that, it's happened to me, you guys, twice. Yeah, once or twice. I think it was twice, but it was just at a private range when I was shooting at a barrel. Critical flaw, in my opinion. It might just be my hold on the gun. I have nothing bad to say about this gun. I would get this set of grips though if you're into it because I mean, as you can see, I just new mag, bang, 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 bang. You get your 8+1, I believe, and then push the button, slap another one in. And those mags aren't too expensive on eBay still. And they're under 10 rounds, so you can get them. I have the original case here. This is a Bulgarian, like I said. I've had Russians. Russians are nice. I actually prefer the Bulgarian just because they have a very beefy safety. But the Russian is the one that caught my finger and came back, and it was a Russian civilian export model with the sight. Has the military sight that I prefer. This is why this is the one that I kept. But let me show you what it shoots. Okay, I have two boxes right here that are Monarch. This is Russian ammo. Right here we have 9mm Luger, then we have 9mm Makarov. People mix this up all the time. They see 9mm, oh, let me get that. You know, especially in this ammo crisis or shortage or ammo hoarding or whatever's going on right now. I just think the gun companies should hire a night staff and start, making money. There must be something more going on here behind the scenes. Gosh, I hope not. But this stuff's made in Russia. And Luger, of course, 9x19, 9mm Makarov, 9x18. In here, I'll let you see the velocities that are advertised here. See that? We have 1,135. That's on the Makarov. And then on the Luger, 1329. That's some hot Monarch steel cased. You see the foot-pounds there. So it is a very significant difference in power between 9x18 and 9x19. Yeah, but the round itself, here's something to take into notice, and I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. I'm actually opening these two boxes right now. Uh, so here's the actual round. Wish I had a better way to. Oh crap. Okay, Here I have a little viewing, like one of those little jeweler's loops here. So you see that the 9x18 it's a little shorter and fatter. The bullet itself, if I am correct, and I think I am, I think I've looked this up before. This is the 9x18. The bullet is actually slightly thicker uh, than a 9x19. So just ever so slightly, but it's a little thicker. Interesting fact. Uh, Not as powerful. I don't think it matters, but typically when I carry this gun, I'll use Silver Bear hollow points. But I don't have any of those out right now. Here lately, you guys, I've been lazy. I mean, if my SIG, I carry that when I have money on me and I'm, headed out to the bank or something. But here lately, this has been my carry gun. A little Beretta, Model 21A, a little Bobcat. And this is a great pistol, you guys. This is another review coming soon. I've had probably, man, this was a brand new gun when I bought it. It hasn't jammed in about 150 rounds for a 22, and I was shooting cheap Winchester M22 out of it. Never even had a jam or a misfire in 150 rounds. Just beautiful for a 22. But people say, you know, I mean, I feel much safer with 9x19, 9x18, or even like in my SIG, 9x17. That's 380 ACP, 9x17. These are better rounds, but that little 22, you guys, with those little stingers, that's a nasty little round. I feel safe with a 22. Yeah, a little gun like this is more like the type of gun that you're going to go pop, 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 and then run. It's not the not the kind of gun that you would, take in as a primary. It's more of a backup gun. But a little gun like this in a pocket or a jacket is better than not carrying a gun on that lazy day that anybody that's done this for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. There's that day where you're just going to a Bible study or going to I don't know, the corner store. I don't know. There will come a lazy day where you don't want to carry a big, this gun, it's lighter than a Glock. That's another plus to a Makarov. It's actually lighter than Glock 17, lighter weight, and it's all still. Brilliant design, in my opinion. One critical fault might just be the way I hold it, but it shouldn't do that. And that's you see on the SIG, I can never get that. There's no room for error here. That's why that's my daily carry. Typically when I'm not being lazy and going to that. And I have other mouse guns like that too. The 950 Jetfire, for instance, the Jetfire series, 25 ACP little Berettas. Those are excellent guns if you can obtain one for 350 or less. I wouldn't spend more than that, but it's what you can find nowadays. Prices are going up, right? But yeah, 9x18 Makarov. I've never taken an animal with one of these. They're just accurate guns, you guys. The barrel, as far as the takedown, I'll just do that again slowly now. Magazine out. Trigger guard comes down. It comes left or right, and it catches. Top slides off. I could disassemble that, the safety decocker and the firing pin, but there's no need. That's all one piece. See, it's just so brilliant. You have everything's milled into the actual slide. There's three pieces, three physical pieces. Well, four if I count the side, but that's it on that whole slide. Brilliant. Uh, Spring, it comes off. The captured end is the smaller end, and then that goes back on there, just like that. Uh, you see, it's all still, every bit of it. Very well done. Light. This is light, you guys. The weight is here. Kind of like Glock, but the whole gun is still. Top slides on, comes down, trigger guard pops back in. That's it. Decocked. Magazine back in. Back in little Russian holster that's so well designed. Check this out. When I put it into that little string, when they open it from their waist, they're wearing that on their belt. So they open it up and they pull the string. Watch what happens. Pistol rises. Then they can grab it easy. That's just neat. You don't see quality like that. You don't see thought. And real leather smells good. Where's the quality in all these plastic guns they're making nowadays? You know what? I'm gonna buy nice stuff, even if it has a little quirky spot. Anyways, very nice gun, solid. They're accurate. The barrel's connected to the frame. I've even seen people. I should have mentioned this a minute ago, but I'll do it again real quick. It's so easy to take this down. I've seen people open a beer bottle with this little section. They'll actually put it on the beer and they'll pop it. It actually takes some kind of a press to get the barrel out of that lug. I mean, it's kind of hydraulically pressed in there. So if you have a 9x18 Makarov and you want to change it to 380 ACP, you can get a replacement barrel for it and, get a gunsmith to put it in. But, these are they're sought after. They used to be one of the cheap, there's an old man at the church I used to go to, and this was his first carry gun, the Makarov, because they were affordable and they were reliable. And with this new modern grip, you just can't beat that. I had a friend, I showed that to him. He's a fan of Makarovs too, and he's like, I got to get me one of those. At first, I didn't like it, but boy, I tell you what, that grip is comfortable, you guys. It might not be the best looker, but that's comfortable. It really is. It's much more comfortable than the original grip, and with that quick release, I mean, geez, that thing releases. It's not going to come out unless you do it, but boy, it's just a good fit. So I'm a fan of that uh, that grip, if you happen to own one of these, I think it's worth I think it's like $50 or something. So that's that. That's my review of the Makarov, you guys. 9x18. I think ammunition at my local sporting store that sells this stuff, it's normally like $12.50. I don't know what it is today. Now that pistol ammo's through the roof, tripled, it's probably 25 or bucks or whatever. But okay, you guys, this is a Christian channel, and I do have a passage today. I actually got some gun oil on my Bible just then as I was taking that apart. But I went to a Bible study earlier tonight at a local church. This was hours ago. Geez, I'm making this video at 2:30 a.m. This was 8 o'clock. Uh, I stay up late all the time. It's just common practice for me. I'm in Matthew chapter 9. This was the passage that was shared tonight. Matthew chapter 9, verse 9. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting in the tax collector's booth. He said, follow him. Follow me. That's the words of Christ. He got up and followed him. Then it happened that as Jesus was reclining at the table in the house, behold, many tax collectors and sinners came and were dining with Jesus and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, "Why is your teacher eating with the tax collectors and sinners?" But Jesus heard this. He said, "It is not those who are healthy who need a physician, but those who are sick. But go and learn what this means. I desire compassion," some translations say mercy, "and not sacrifice, for I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." This is just there's a lot going on here, you guys, but you see the love of Jesus Christ. He's not coming down and, he never walked up to any man and said, man, you know, just depart from me, or you're so dirty, I don't want anything to do with you. No, he's going to those that needed a savior, those that were, in this case, a tax collector, which Matthew clearly was one of the disciples, the disciple that wrote this synoptic gospel. And Matthew's sitting there and in the booth. People hated tax collectors back then. They pretty much were working for Rome, and they're taxing the people. It was not uncommon for them to take extra bits of tax for themselves. There was kind of a corrupt name to be a tax collector. It wasn't a good thing. Sinners and tax collectors. And the Pharisees, they're holy and clean, and they're just very self-righteous and self-approved, and they're just, standing aloof or something. And why is his teacher doing this? They just don't understand. They're quick with judgment. They're not, they weren't the hands and feet of the body of Christ healing or doing, they weren't desiring compassion or mercy. They were just judgmental and self-righteous. And, he said, "I did not come to call the righteous, but sinners." Jesus loved everyone. And it's interesting that he even quoted this passage. He's quoting from a book in the Old Testament. If you go back and read, Jesus said this knowing that they would probably recognize his words. They were far from God, too judgmental, too self-righteous. He came to save that which was lost. He did eat with sinners and tax collectors. He was here to reconcile that which was lost. It's just a beautiful passage. And it's just something to think about, you guys. It's a good passage. It's none of us are righteous. It's filthy rags, like Paul would say. We're here because God loves us. We're all unique. We're all sinners. We're righteous through him and saved through him and called by his name. That's the beauty of it. That's just a passage I wanted to share, you guys. So y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for watching. It's been a little while since I made a video, and I just got on there earlier tonight and we're looking through my comments, and I saw that somebody requested the Makarov. So I figured I'd hop on tonight and just do a quick video on it. These are accurate guns, you guys. They rival a PPK or a PP in accuracy. PP is the little bit longer version, and the 32 ACP. I have one of those too. If I need to make a video on that. So I have a lot of guns I still need to make a video on. what can I say? They hold their value, they're fun, they're a tool, but they sure do give you a sense of comfort if you live alone like I do at the moment, or if you just happen to be at an ATM late at night, who knows? Or if you're in my past, I was out waving a metal detector on soccer fields, and if you notice, I just bought another. So I've been out metal detecting again, and I have another right here, my White's DFX. I like metal detecting. I like finding gold on soccer fields. So baseball, football. Yeah, I dig a lot of trash, but it's a fun hobby. And that was kind of, I have a lot of videos in my past on this channel of doing that. I've been getting back into it here recently. So a lot of fun. New machine. It's the Nakota Macro Simplex. Pretty decent machine. So maybe I'll make a video on that someday. But guns have always been my main hobby, just what's stuck, been there through the years. But I do fool around with metal detectors, and I do a lot of PC gaming sometime as well. So sometimes I'm in a couple Christian clans on the internet with Discord and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. It's all about the community. That's the main thing. But well, you guys, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna let y'all go. Y'all just have a great night, and thanks for checking it out. And hopefully, I have more videos to come in the future. It's just, I guess, just kind of finding the motivation to get on there and make them right now. But pick up a Makarov if you can find one. I would estimate that you'd spend about 400 to 475 bucks for something like this in today's market. If you get one for under that, I mean, I'm talking about one in good shape like this one. If you find a beat up one, in the past, I bought a beat up one for 215 bucks, and it was a Russian. So, wow, the camera just went out of focus. Looks like it's time to go. I'll see you guys later. Y'all have a blessed day.